Welcome to valuationpodcast.com, a podcast and video series about all things related to business and valuation. My name is Melissa Gragg, and I'm a financial mediator and business valuation expert in St. Louis, Missouri. Today, we're discussing the intricacies of intellectual property in business valuation with Michael Koeppel. He's actually been on the podcast before, and he's a very trusted source of information. He has 3 decades of experience and services a ton of different industries, including technology, manufacturing, and service sectors. In 2012, he created Lakelet Advisory Group and started concentrating on organizations from a business valuation perspective, turnaround situations, and other situations. So welcome, Michael. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing great, Melissa. Thank you for having me on your podcast.
What are you dealing with international patents, and how are you addressing them?
Yeah, international in the patent process is extremely expensive, extremely. Okay. And you can spend hundreds of thousands of dollars for the U.S. patent going through contingent upon it. And if it's in the pharmaceutical arena, much, much more. Mm-hmm. And the international, you multiply times, you got to do it for the EU. You definitely want to do it for China. If, everybody says, well, is it worth the paper it's written on? That's a distinction you got to make with regards to that.
You got to check the box.
You got to check the box. You got to check the box, especially is what is the objective of your patent? If I have a patent for the mousetrap, I'm going to sell it throughout the world. I want to make sure, and I'm going to sell the rights to it. I got to have the patents in place. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, I'm only going to get the royalties and payments for those that are made in the United States. You might have to go get a different patent for South America, specifically Brazil. You have to get one for the EU. The EU really defends its patents very well. I think in some areas, the EU probably protects its patents a little bit better than the United States. But you have to go through the process. It's extremely expensive and time-consuming process to get it. And you got to have the right law firm helping you out, someone who's experienced in this area, and someone who has the connections over in Europe. If the law firm you're dealing with doesn't have an office over in Europe, and yet they want to be an international patent attorney, I would think twice. You got to deal with someone who's on the ground over there, who knows the regulatory processes over there. But you got to protect yourself. Now, if you just have a patent for a mousetrap and you just want to sell it to Lowe's or Home Depot or whatever, and you do a cost-benefit analysis that I can't afford to spend all this money on that, I'm just going to focus on the U.S. Well, we'll do it that way. Focus on it. But go in there with a good advisor, find out what the patent's worth and what the market worth. Yeah. There's a lot of things, and I always tell our clients that unfortunately, as Americans, most of us are too parochial. We think the world starts in New York and ends in Los Angeles, and there's a whole big world out there. We're just a fraction of it. If you got a great, great product, protect it and go with the big bang throughout the world. Even if you can't do it, get a distributor or business partner who can.